one thing I love about OneMain Financial personal loan is that to be approved, you have to follow a specific program, a process, if you will, and everything starts with getting pre-approved. So to be approved, you need to first be pre-approved, right? So you want to go through the pre-qual process. So I knew right off the bat, if I wanted to have a loan from OneMain Financial, I had to really follow protocol, right? And so basically, you can see on the screen here that everything starts by you actually entering all your basic information. So what OneMain Financial is interested in is to know if you have the capacity. They don't really care about your credit. They do care about your credit, but not that much. At least one thing I went through, and I have a lot of my friends who went through the same process just to kind of test out the waters, if you will. And we realized that OneMain Financial wanted to make sure that you have the capacity, you have the cash inflows to repay whatever loan you are getting from them. So as you can see on the screen here, they want you to first put the desired loan amount. So I chose $30,000, and now they will ask you the use of loan proceeds. Be very careful in terms of choosing the use of loan proceeds. So in my case, I wanted the cash. I wanted to use the cash for a couple of things, and I didn't find the right reason that they put in on the website, so I chose other. But you can use the loan for debt consolidation. You can use the loan for some like emergency medical reason. You can use the loan for adoption, a child for birth or adoption. So they have a lot of reasons on OneMain Financial. But in my case, I wanted to use the cash for a couple of things. I mean, including doing a home remodel. So they didn't have that option. So that's why I chose other. So they'll ask you whether you'll be applying for this loan with a co-applicant. I said to my wife, "Do you want to apply?" She said, "No, I'm not doing it." So I chose individually. And so you have to put your name, your address. You have to put when you moved into that apartment or that house, if you own or rent, it's really important for OneMain because they want to make sure that you have the resources, you have enough, like a low DTI, debt to income ratio, to repay whatever loan they actually grant you. And so you have to put your address, and then you have to put your phone number. Make sure you choose a mobile phone number because they'll be calling you to make sure that you are indeed the person you said you are. And one thing you also have to put here is you have to put your date of birth. Now, on the date of birth thing, I realized that people have been talking about OneMain Financial being better for younger folks. I was like, okay, do I stand a chance? Because I'm not young, I was like, okay, I want to test out the waters with this OneMain Financial loan thing, but would I qualify? Do I stand a chance? And it turns out that I did stand a chance. Okay, and you have to put your social. And then, so once you put your date of birth, your social, you have to put your monthly net income. So we're talking here about net income. We're not talking about gross income. So whatever money you're making, like that's your take-home pay. Okay, so don't put whatever you have on your tax, on your pay stubs, like what you have on your 1099 or W-2 at the end of the year. That's not the amount you have to put because your W-2 and 1099, those are showing your gross income. So make sure that you are putting you take your how much you made net and you divide that by 12. Okay, or if you are paid like every 2 weeks, so just add whatever you're getting twice, like times 2, and so this is basically will give you the amount that you need. And so this is kind of interesting from a financial perspective. And then you have to put your employer, your current employer. Now for this, I actually put everything I put is fictitious. I didn't want to divulge my personal business on TV or YouTube, whatever you call it. So this is why, but the numbers here, like the info here, is kind of illustrative. It tells you how much, like what you will have to put if you were to really follow the process as well. And so once you do all that, you have to check the box. So that there's a box that says that you have reviewed everything and think the information is correct. You actually have to, like, they will do a pull, a soft pull at first, and then they'll do a hard pull later on. If you're a New York resident, there are some extra steps to follow to actually go through, but it's nothing really complicated. So once you do all that, you are good to go. But one thing I also need to say here is that please pay attention to the data. You want to review your data one last time, because the data is really nothing complicated. It's nothing really deep or very broad. It's very simple. So please make sure you don't make any mistake during this phase, because OneMain Financial, they are very, very thorough, and they will actually reject your application if you are not really truthful with them. And so when you have done everything, you have actually went through, like you have gone through all the process, you just have to hit submit loan application. So here, the thing here is that if you actually click submit loan application, this may or may not affect your credit score. What I've realized during my research is that, as I was talking to people, to insiders at OneMain Financial, is that OneMain, sometimes they do credit, like they do hard pull, sometimes they do soft pull. I don't know what kind of algorithm they have, what kind of system they have internally to decide which way they were to go, but just be prepared to know that you might you might lose a few points on your credit score. So if you're not really interested in having a hard pull on your credit or a hard inquiry, I suggest you first call OneMain Financial. Call them first, talk to someone, and ask this specific question: would you guys do a hard pull, or is this the soft pull? This is really important, and you want a clear answer, because again, and the thing is, you want to have a confirmation via email, or you want to take the name of the person. And what I did was, I actually, in my case, they did a soft pull, but it was because I called 3 times. I called 3 different people working at OneMain Financial, and they all told me that, hey, listen, in my case, it will be a soft pull, it will not be a hard pull. So I was kind of relieved, and I wrote down the dates when I called. I actually whatever name they wanted to give me, I actually took those names, but they gave me like a reference number, and I knew, okay, if something were to happen, I actually would just call OneMain back and say, y'all promised to have a soft pull. How come I'm having a hard pull on my credit, right? So this is kind of cool. So I did that before I even went to did the online application thing, because this online application, as you realize, they only ask for a few things. They only ask for your income, your annual income. They ask for how much you want to borrow, and they're asking you for your housing cost. They're not even asking you for your general living cost and whatever. They're asking you whether you rent it, whether you are a tenant or you are a homeowner, right? And so they based their preliminary sort of evaluation on that very cursory information. So I think for me, that's kind of cool. So once you've done everything, just hit submit loan application and you should be fine. So one thing I realized, I mean, I kind of knew it though. I wasn't surprised. And as you can see on the screen here, basically they said, sorry, we can't find an offer for you right now. That makes sense, because if you really think about it, if you saw the name that I took, if you saw all the info that I put here was kind of fictitious, because I wanted to show you basically how the process works. So I did not want to divulge my personal info, my personal business on national TV or national YouTube, whatever you call it. But if you actually went through the same process and you put your actual data, the real data, your real social security number, your real income, your real, I would say mortgage, the address where you live at. If you were to go through the same process and put actual data, and what will happen here is that OneMain Financial's algorithm will determine based on your location, because they have their algorithm actually calls data from the internet and other sources to know whether or not, to first identify who is applying, that to make sure that you are you, to also evaluate your financial profile without actually doing a hard pull, and to see overall if there are some kind of crowdsourced data about you that says whether you are a potential risk, quote unquote risk, or not a risk at all. So that's how the algorithm works. I actually have somebody who explained this to me during COVID. It was kind of crazy. I was just during COVID, they told us not to travel, but I was still traveling. Not by plane though. I was driving around town. I really took time to visit some folks. I went all the way to Piscataway, New Jersey. I went to Toms River, New Jersey. I mean, those are places I love. God bless the residents of those places. Very nice folks. And basically, I took the time to learn about the process. So, bottom line here is that if you have this sort of denial page, it just means that you have either you don't qualify at all based on your finances, based on your financial profile, or you have put erroneous data. So you want to go back and reapply. That's totally not a problem. But so if you do not, like, if they reject your ask, all they'll do is they give you like a couple of options. You can reapply with the co-applicant. You can actually get a loan from one of M1's partner, or you can improve your credit score, right, to sort of get back on track. The thing I realize is that to get a personal loan from M1 Financial is actually not that complicated. It's like one of those things you have to do to sort of make sure that you're on the right path. And one thing I did to improve my chances of getting the loan, because I got the loan anyway afterwards. I just didn't show this on screen because I didn't want to show my data. But when I put my real data, I got approved. Okay, they approved me for 25 grand. 25 grand, and I took that. I'm like, okay, I'll take it, whatever. And so one thing I did was to actually increase my chances of being approved for OneMain Financial personal loan. That I just sat down and I really did an honest evaluation of my financial situation. I looked at everything. I'm like, where am I at? What are my options? What's happening to my life right now? What are the things I need to pay attention to? So I started really digging deep. So I actually I looked at two things that were pivotal to my financial situation, like what I want out of the loan and how it will impact my finances. Because the thing is that you want to identify the ultimate goal of getting a loan. So I asked myself, like, am I having difficulty paying existing debts and interested in consolidating my bills? Am I looking to finance a big purchase like a new car? So I wanted to really identify my goal before I even talk to M1 or anybody else, so I can determine how much I will need to borrow and how it factors into my existing budget, right? So before getting a loan, be sure that you have also considered other potential options, such as selling unneeded items or tapping into a savings account. So then what I did afterwards, I checked my credit. I'm like, you know what? Even though on deck they say they don't do hard pulls, sometimes they do hard pulls. And I said, I'm gonna check my credit anyway to make sure I was okay. I mean, thank God I'm not a sub 600 or sub 650. I said I'm very happy. And the thing is, I checked all three credit reports. I mean, I don't trust one of them. Like to say, Equifax is my favorite, and I don't like Experience ads. I don't like TransUnion's ads. I'll go with Equifax. No. I have no favorite. And my thing was, and so I checked all three credit bureaus to make sure the data is consistent. And thank God, again, the data was consistent. And so before actually I was researching my odds of approval for a OneMain Financial personal loan, one thing that I did was I actually was simultaneously researching different lending options, because I was like, listen, I love OneMain Financial. I want to get a loan from them, but hey, listen, there are other players in this industry, and I want to boost my chances of getting a loan anyway. So how can I do that? So I started talking to a lot of folks. I started, like, anytime I would go to a social event, a happy hour here, a family reunion, or let's say a high school reunion with my old peeps back in the days, I will actually just pop the question to anybody willing to listen. Do you know anything about OneMain Financial? Because see, I'm an old school guy. I don't just go on the internet and read reviews, because some of those reviews are fake anyway. And because a lot of companies specialize in writing reviews for their clients. So I say, I'm going to really talk to actual people for real. So that's why I really I prioritize actual, like, direct feedback, as opposed to somebody going on the internet and putting a 5-star review on a company that I want to really analyze. So what I started doing was I started asking questions. I started asking around for people. I'm like, do you know anything about OneMain Financial? So I asked my family. I asked my aunts, my uncle. I asked my cousins. I I asked my parents. I asked also my brother. So I asked a lot of people about OneMain Financial. So I was actually gathering data. I was gathering intel, like first source intel, first source data from people that I trusted, right? And then what I did was I wanted to see whether or not I could try some of the competitors, because when you think about it, when it comes times to getting a personal loan, a little research can go a long way. So I wanted to take the time to investigate different lenders and the various types of loans they offer, because OneMain Financial, they will stop you at 30 grand, for instance. And I'm like, oh, okay, then you have SoFi that's really giving you all the way to $100,000. I have other players. I have I'm kind of blanking here, but it will come back a little. You have Last Stream, you have Lending Point, you have Lending Tree, right? You have Avon. You have so you have a lot of players in this industry, and they're giving you a lot of money, like a lot of money too. So I wanted to make sure that OneMain Financial was actually competitive. And then what I did was I actually did something really that I'm so proud of. Like until today, I'm very happy about that. I gathered my documents. Usually, I'm not really organized when it comes to gathering financial documents, but this time I was really organized. I was so happy. I was like, wow, I can't believe I could do this. So what I did was I actually created a folder, and I called that folder OneMain Financial Personal Loan. You know, I really wanted to be really focused. So in that folder, I put a lot of things. I had like I have my proof of income. So I showed evidence of income, things like pay stubs. I have my pay stubs for the last 3 months. I have my tax returns for the last 3 years. I mean, my wife and I, we filed joint returns. So I said, you know what? I'm going to show our tax returns, but I'm not going to sort of jeopardize her social or anything, because I wanted to apply for OneMain Financial, like personally, like individually, not jointly. So I also attached my quote unquote tax returns, which are joint anyway. And so that was that. So I did my proof of income. I did my so I actually also attached my Bank of America, the last 3 statements for my Bank of America checking accounts. I also put a little bit of my Chase accounts there, because I wanted to show OneMain Financial that, hey, listen, I'm making money. Okay, so I have the means to pay you all back, not a problem at all. So you also want to show like proof of employment. So a letter from your employer, or you can show, like, normally if you show the pay stubs, it means that you are on payroll, which means that you are working there, right? You don't have to show proof of employment. But the thing is, some lenders, including OneMain Financial, they might want to probe you a little more, like to know more about your business, literally. And so I said to myself, before actually they ask me anything, I'm going to have all the electronic version of those documents, or even the physical versions, and I'll digitize whatever I have. I'll have physically. I'll just digitize them, so that if I'm asked those questions, I can just take care of I could just provide the answers ASAP. So I had that. And one thing I also thought about is that OneMain Financial said you have to provide things like utility bills. So I actually showed my PSE&G bill. I showed also my Verizon, because I have Verizon, and I mean, my wife and I, we have Verizon and AT&T. So I just chose the Verizon bill, so everything was fine. So I because they did not approve me right away. They will ask you to provide evidence, and then you just have to upload that evidence, and you should be good to go.